guys, welcome back to another video. I am going to be talking to you today. Hi guys, come and meet my dog. Charlie, come here. Come baby. Hey, say hi to the camera. Charlie, say hi. Yeah. Anyway, today I'm going to be talking to you guys about organisation and how I keep my study notes organised. I have to say my dog is around because I am dog sitting today, so if you hear any thumps or bumps, it's definitely my dog. But let's get straight into the video. So I literally have with me today my backpack that I take to school. Organisation tip number one, it's not really about study notes, but like I know a lot of girls, including myself, up to about the end of the first term, carry one of those handbags. I have to say, just for ease, do you know what? Backpacks are so much better. I've definitely been converted to a backpack kind of gal from the handbag, because honestly, the knots that you would get in your shoulder from carrying that thing are insane. It's a different level of pain. But I'm going to start by showing you blah, 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 all my folders. So I have 2 folders that I take to school with me, and I have 5 folders for at home. So yes, I have 3 folders that I use during the daytime, and that's wrong. I have 2 folders that I use during the daytime. One is purely for biology. Unfortunately, that's actually my most organised folder, and it's at school because I'll be able to bring it out in another video because it's kind of my baby and I'm quite proud of it. Like, it's quite organised. This lovely green folder is my chemistry and psychology folder. So the first tip that I have, I'm going to try and show this to the camera as best as I can. And my organisation is not pretty. It is kind of like an organised chaos. So the first thing I'll show you is that I keep all of my flashcards and revision notes, and sort of I do these how-to guides on like processes and the maths elements of chemistry. I keep those in a little Polly Pocket using one of those, I don't know what you call these clips, the squeezy ones that you squeeze and then like put it down there and then like flip them over. I close it with one of those so that they don't fall out, because that would be so annoying. And yeah, and then at the start of the folder, sorry, I should have done this in chronological order. This is really not going well, but I'm going to keep going. At the start of the folder, I have a blue divider, and on the side it just says chemistry, and then underneath it says blue folder, because what I like to do is correlate the colour of my divider to the colour of my home folders. So like I said, I have 2 folders that I use for school, and I have 5 folders for home. 3 of them are for my subjects, and 2 of them are for sort of revision stuff, but I'll get that onto that later. So the blue divider correlates with the blue folder for chemistry, which I think is quite aesthetically pleasing, and also just helps me to like remember, so I don't end up putting biology in the chemistry folder, because actually I think this is a valid point, and it'll probably be my first important thing, is that if you, when you're trying to unload your day folder into your home folders, if you start to get them mixed up and putting different subjects in different ones, especially with biology and chemistry with the content overlapping sometimes, you might not actually realise that you've done it until it's time for exams, and then you're stressing and you can't find a worksheet that you've done or something like that. So the next thing that I want to show you is my periodic table. Obviously a chemistry essential. I have that right, literally, it never leaves this folder. I never take this out. I will only take it out in the chemistry lesson, and I'll always put it back in after. And it stays right at the front of the folder, so that even if I can't be bothered to take the divider over, I can see it through it, which is quite nice. And it just stays there because, like, let's be honest, you're going to need it all the time. So the next thing that I would point out is for my course, for my chemistry course, we have a thing called data sheets. Now I have in my folder, let me get it out, a little sort of, I don't know what you call this, I don't know what any of this stuff is called. It's like a little mini folder inside my folder, and inside it I have a specification overview so that I can actually go through the spec for year 1 and try and flip the page. Like you can see here, I've been just highlighting the parts which I don't know. I have a traffic light system, so I use green for what I do know, yellow for what I am okay with, and orange for things that I really definitely need to revise before mocks are all around, which is quite soon. And then obviously behind the specification overview, I have, what's that? Oh, I actually have printed off the Tailored Tutors Practicals Checklist, which I didn't know I had in here, but that's really helpful because it allows you to make sure that you have like understood and you remember all the practicals because you're going to be tested on them. Saved it. Gosh, that was scary. Yeah, you'll be tested on your practical knowledge. So I have this in here so that I can tick off like what I know and what I don't. I have a lot of Tailored Tutors things in here. Look at me. Look at that. But they are actually really good. So I also have, what's this? Oh yeah. I've got some I never know how to say this word. Periodicity. I think that was right the first time. Periodicity. Like they're sort of like help sheets. I think these are the help sheets from Tailored Tutors. And they basically they're actually so good. So this shows you common oxidation states. You've got here like the solubility rules of the salts. And you've got the common ions, molecular ions, acids and bases. So this folder is basically like essential stuff that like if I get stuck with a question or if I get stuck with homework, this is where I'll go because it has literally everything in it. The equations, it has help sheets, it has the specifications, so I know what I actually have to know and what I don't have to include, and some more help sheets. I've got loads. I think I've got them all here. And then obviously, like I said, the data sheets, which come from the exam board website. And I just printed those off. My teacher told us to print them all off. They're really good. They just literally just give you the data that you'll be given in the exam and also some like helpful, like, so here it's got useful organic reactions and monomers of DNA and RNA. So that's what's in this little red folder. Took a lot of time talking about that, but that's my next tip. I think I've given one before. So this is my second tip, is to have a little folder inside your day folder to keep it all nice and fresh and crisp, of like all the really important material, just like the help sheets, the specification overview and the data sheets for your course. I think that's all that should go in here. You can see it's really thin and it's not chunky at all, and it's really nice because I don't ever have to like take anything out of this folder. I just flip it about and then it goes in the third place in my folder behind my periodic table and behind my flashcards. So what next? Next, I have my notes. Lovely. I actually haven't mentioned this, but I am awful at like organizing my notes. I'm awful at organization. So this video is not me telling you how to be amazing at it. This is me telling you how I've managed not to be rubbish at organization. I've decided this year, because GCSEs I didn't do it, I'm going to be organized. So this is, what is it? I think it's common ions. Let me see. Oh, cations and anions and compounds and stuff. So that's there because obviously you're going to need to know how to make those up really quickly, and obviously just learning the common ones. I hope you can see this. And then, so notes. I have a system of writing notes. So in my biology folder, what I have is a system where every single note page I do, I colour code it. So green is for pre-reading, so I'll do a little green scribble of highlighter at the top of the page. Orange is for, pink is for things that I've done in lesson time, so lesson notes. And orange is for things that I've done after lesson for revision. So I code everything, whether it's flashcards, whether it's mind maps, I put a scribble on it because I find it really helpful to know what has been done where. Yeah, so I'm just trying to find a page where I can show you my scribbling method. So, for example, here I've written some ionic equations out. It's orange because I did that as revision. And another thing I always do, oh, I just completely contradicted myself, but I always write the date, because if you don't write the date and then you try to organise it into your home folders, it's going to be so hard. And then normally, I hope I've done it on one so I can at least see, here we are. So I normally write the name of the teacher in the top left-hand corner, and underneath it just write like chem, bio or psych, so that I can like easily tell which subject is, because like I said, with chemistry and biology, a lot of the content overlaps, and actually with biology and psychology it overlaps too, because we're doing research methods in both. So those are the codes that I have for making sure that my notes can stay organised. And then here I have another divider for my psychology, and it will be exactly the same method as I have for chemistry. It's always in chronological order. And at the back of this, I'm going to skip to the back. At the back of this folder, I have, I think, 2 Polly Pockets. Oh, one. I have 1 Polly Pocket, and I like to put, so I do keep some of my revision in the notes section, but things like nice mind maps that I've made that I want to keep nice and fresh. This is my social influence revision pack. So it's all my best revision resources, the ones that I will be using in year 13. And I keep these in a Polly Pocket at the back so that they don't get messed up. And this just stays there until I have an exam or I need to use it. But it's also good because it's accessible. It stays in my day folder, because at the moment I have a mock coming up on social influence. So if I want to do some quick revision, I'll whack those out. So that took a long time to explain, but that is basically the contents of my day folder. I'll explain a bit what's different about my biology folder. Basically, the only difference is that I have one folder just for biology, because my teachers give us booklets. They're different colours for different topics, and then you've got a yellow one for core practicals and like a peach one for like we have 10th lesson tasks and things like that, like guidelines and stuff of how to do GCSE A-level biology, and so those booklets always stay in my day folder, and I have them in order. So at the front of my folder I have a little piece of lined paper that tells me basically how to organise my folder. So like I mentioned to you about the coding orange, pink and green for in-lesson tasks, revision and pre-reading, I have a little bit of lined paper at the front that tells me about that. It tells me always date your work, and it tells me always write the name of the teacher and the subject, so that if I ever forget, I can remember. And it also tells me what home folders correlate with what subject, just so that if I am ever having a bad day and I literally can't organise anything, I look back at that and it's sort of like a guideline for me to do that. Like I said, they give us booklets for each topic, and then behind those booklets, the coloured booklets, I'll have our white paper write-on packs, which are like questions that we do in class. And I'll keep the subject one, which is lifestyle, is it lifestyle? Genes and health? No, lifestyle factors, I think, is the first topic that we're doing with one of my teachers. And then behind that, I'll have the lifestyle write-on pack. And behind that, I'll have my lifestyle notes. And then I'll have my genes and health booklet. And then behind that, the genes and health write-on pack. And behind that, the genes and health notes. And then behind that, what I have is a little piece of yellow card. And on it, I've done a nice little design. And it basically, I think it just says AS Biology Practicals. And underneath I write, every time we do a practical write-up or do work for a core practical, I'll write down on the top sheet, the yellow piece of card, what it is and whether it was a core practical. If it's a core practical, next to it I'll just put C, and then I just have a list of all the So, sorry, my camera ran out of charge and then my dog started crying, so it was a bit of a mare. But as I was saying, behind each little file for biology, behind each little section with the coloured folders, I have my notes, and then at the end I have my practicals, and I write down the practicals, and then it's like a contents page, and behind that I have all my practical notes and practical write-ups. So that's basically the organisation behind my biology folder. I also have then in my biology folder, I don't know why I don't have it in this green folder, but I have a little Polly Pocket for homework that is due that hasn't been taken in yet. And then once the homework's been marked or taken in and I've had it back, I'll then start to, I'll then write out, I'll take those pages of homework out and put them in my home folders. So yeah, then I'm just going to show you Charlie. Come on, baby. Come on. Stop crying. Stop crying. Good boy. Sorry, my dog is having a crisis. Yeah. So these are my lovely home folders. They are much bigger. I have 1, 2, and 3 for my main subjects. This one I think is psychology. Yes, psychology. This one is biology, and this one is chemistry. And literally, they're pretty simple in their organisation. I don't like to do anything fancy because it will confuse me. So literally, I open it up. It says lifestyle and health risk topic 1 for biology, and then literally on the next page, my notes start. So it always, to be honest, this is the only thing I'll say, is that it always starts with my pre-reading, which I like to do and make it really neat so that I have one set of neat notes for every topic. And then it goes into my lesson work, and that's pretty much it. I literally just chuck it all in chronological order. So my maps and stuff are here in chronological order too. Sorry if you hear my dog crying, please ignore it. Scratching at the door, please ignore it. He's fine. He's not being abused. He just wants food. So that's literally it. And we're feeding him in about 5 minutes. Aren't we, Kubi? Yeah, we're going to feed you. Yes. Okay. So those are my home folders. The other 2 folders, because obviously I said I had 5, and I do. I was not lying. The other 2 are not because I take 5 A-levels. I have one folder especially for my tailored tutors work. So it has empty note sheets that I want to fill out, so that I don't have to always be printing it off. I can just sit down and use them. And then it also has the note sheets that I've filled out. So I literally rely on the note sheets. Like when I do my tailored tutors work, I literally just use the note sheets and watch the videos and do active recall, because that is literally the most effective way that I learn from tailored tutors. Everybody learns differently. So, and they've got so many different ways of learning on there that you can do. So that is my tailored tutors folder. And then I also have a folder for my tutoring, because I have a bit of chemistry tutoring as well as tailored tutors. But yeah, I basically just have a folder for that, and I put all my notes that I have. It's done on the computer, so they're all computerized notes. But yeah, the same way as any other folder, I just do that chronologically. But thank you guys for watching. Please do let me know if you have any questions about how I organise, or if you want any further videos on how I organise on things that maybe I didn't cover. If you want to see my biology folder, that's probably the most organised one. Do let me know. And yeah, I'll hope to see you guys on my channel again soon. Bye!